ape to man. Over 300 Neanderthal remains have been found from Europe to the Middle East. And they all tell the same story. A short, powerful physique, perfectly evolved for the world he lives in. And it's a tough place. Europe is in the early stages of the last great ice age. Within a few centuries, this land will be under a glacier half a mile thick. The only way to support advanced life here is with a high-protein meat diet. And that means learn to be a good hunter, or starve. The tools found with Neanderthals suggest they developed sophisticated stone technology. Their weapons are the tools of their survival and need to be maintained. If a spear fails at the critical moment, the hunt will fail. Neanderthal males seem to have supported loose family groups of up to a dozen. The Neanderthals work out a plan to corner their prey. The ability to organize and communicate, to improvise a plan, are all advanced human skills. The question is, did they originate here with Neanderthal? Exactly how human were they? June 1996, the vaults of the Rhineland Museum, Germany. Genetic scientist Matthias Krings from Munich University is about to attempt to answer that question. Museum curator Heikki Kanitsky is allowing Krings to examine the original Neanderthal bones found in 1856. The evidence that began the quest for our origins. They're wearing full body protection to avoid genetic contamination. Because Krings isn't interested in looking at the bones, he's going to look inside, at their DNA. It was always thought impossible to extract DNA from any sample older than 10,000 years. Now, they're attempting to go 4 times further back in time. To the age of Neanderthal. Scientists had long thought that Neanderthal was our most recent ancestor. That he became human in one last crucial evolutionary leap. If so, he should have almost identical DNA to us. In Munich, Matthias Krings has the 2 sets of DNA results. Neanderthal and modern man.
Und? Was siehst du?
Was sehe ich? Ich habe keine Ahnung, was ich sehe. Das kann doch wohl nicht richtig sein.
Between any 2 people, there should be an average of 8 differences in the same piece of DNA.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But between the human and Neanderthal samples, Krings counts nearly 4 times as many changes.
Das ist was anderes. Das ist was völlig anderes. Ich habe sowas noch nie gesehen.
Mann, bist du dir sicher?
Hundertprozentig. Was wir hier sehen, ist eine völlig andere Spezies.
Neanderthal, it seemed, were not our ancestors after all. Evolution had produced 2 separate human-like species at the same time. Sooner or later, they were bound to come face to face. While the Neanderthal tried to flush out their pig, into the same forest comes a new hunting party. Another human species. And they hear the same pig.
At the time Neanderthals went to extinction, we know anatomically modern humans, people like us, had also moved into Europe and were competing with them perhaps for those areas where it was slightly easier to catch the game. Modern humans that have larger group sizes, more efficient tools maybe, they might be just that better at hunting.
The Neanderthals' plan to corner the pig seems to have failed. They've lost sight of it in the undergrowth. But then it seems to break cover further down the hill. In fact, the modern humans have got there first. The first encounter between two almost identical human species is a profound shock. And in this tough Ice Age world, there is only room for one of them. Why was it ultimately us and not them who prevailed? The first evidence for modern humans in Europe is dated at 40,000 years ago. But Neanderthal occupation stretches back 150,000 years. What they don't know is that they are related to each other. "500,000 years ago, they shared a remote common ancestor, a descendant of Homo erectus. From their African homeland, their ancestors migrated across half the world, spreading as far as Southeast Asia and into Northern Europe. Here, they would emerge as Neanderthal man. But the ones who stayed behind in Africa evolved too. And just under 200,000 years ago, a new species first appears. It is Homo sapiens, modern man. They too were hunters, but some scientists have suggested they supplemented their diet with fish, spurring their brain development. The evidence suggests their culture developed faster, that their social groups became bigger and more complex, and driven by population pressure and climate change, they too migrated. It took 150,000 years to spread from Africa to Europe, and as they moved further and further north, their appearance changed. And eventually, they caught up with their long-lost cousins, the Neanderthals. The European continent is losing one of its oldest, most successful species. Within a few dozen generations, the last Neanderthal will be gone. Their world overrun by a species with better weapons, better organization, greater numbers. Modern man.